Hi, hello, and welcome. I am Gigi. This is my channel, Art with Gigi. Let's do some art. It's been a few months, possibly a year, since my face has been seen on the camera like this. I think. I don't remember, to be honest. That's how you know it's been a while. So today I'm going to be drawing the Teen Titans, and I just wanted to do like the comic book version of them, but it's still in my style, if that makes sense. So my style, but if it was comic style. I think you'll understand when I actually do the drawing what I'm trying to say, what I mean like comic book with my style. It's just a mix of styles pretty much. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm starting with Starfire, and as you can see, I already have a sketch down. That's because I didn't realize until later on that I wanted to film, so there's already a sketch there, oh well. In the intro, I said that I wanted to mix my style and a comic style, specifically the DC comic style. And not only that, I wanted to take inspiration from a ton of different versions of the Titans, so like from when they were first made to like now. Specifically for Starfire, I wanted to use aspects of the 80s comic version of her. I really wanted to capture the likeness and the overall style of that version, which I think I did pretty well. I mostly used the comic version for her hair and her face because that's my favorite part of that version. And then for her outfit, I just used the Teen Titans and the Teen Titans Go version mixed with a few other comic versions that I saw. And here's the finished sketch. Admire it. Moving along to Beast Boy. I took zero inspiration from the comic version of Beast Boy. I mostly used the Teen Titans and the Teen Titans Go version because those are my favorite versions of Beast Boy. As you can see, I was struggling with his hand a little bit, or a lot actually. That specific positioning for his hand was pretty hard to draw. It always is. I always struggle with it, and I thought I could do it and I couldn't. So for his face, I pretty much just drew him how I would draw him if he was in my style. I've drawn Beast Boy like I think twice before, and every time I draw him, this is exactly how I draw his face and his hair, so that's just what I did. For the outfit, I just did the Teen Titans version because that's my favorite outfit and it's the only one I ever draw him in anyway, so that's just what I went with. It is slightly altered though, like instead of giving him gloves, I just gave him a long sleeve that kind of went a little bit over his wrist and kind of like a watch, but like a bracket thing. I don't exactly know what to call it, but you see it. And that's the sketch. So for Robin, this specific design that I did is pretty much just copy and paste with slight alterations, of course. But overall, it is pretty much just one specific, whatchamacallit, version or design. That's the words. Those are the words. He is also, along with Starfire, one of my favorite ones to draw in general, and also for this drawing, he was very, very fun to draw. I just really like drawing his mask. Like the mask from this specific version, I just really like drawing it. It's very fun. It's so sharp and I also really like how his face turned out. Like I kind of gave him a little bit of a smirk. Depending on which version I was mostly drawing from, I wanted to put that kind of personality onto their face when I was drawing their expressions. Like for Beast Boy, I gave him a little bit of a smirk because in Teen Titans and in Teen Titans Go, he is the goofy character, you know? And because I mostly grew up watching Teen Titans Go, I drew him with a smirk because if this was a drawing from that version, I know that he would be smirking. I don't know how he was in the comics, but that's just what I did. And here's the sketch completed. Again, he looks so cool and he's my favorite. In my opinion, I feel like Cyborg came out the best, and I'm saying that in terms of the design and how I drew his face and how his body looks. Like everything just looks perfect and it just screams Cyborg. And this is my first time drawing Cyborg ever. Like I've drawn every single one of the Teen Titans except for him. And now that I have like a solid design of how I want to continue to draw him, I might draw him a lot more. My favorite version of Cyborg is one from the comics. I don't know exactly which comic, what year of comics, but I'm just gonna show the picture. That is my absolute favorite like design of Cyborg. I just find it so cool. And another one of my favorites is the Teen Titans version of Cyborg, and I just mixed those two together to get what you see here. In Teen Titans and in Teen Titans Go, out of all the Titans, he is the buffest character, so I just made sure to make him the biggest in terms of muscle. I would have made him taller, but he literally would not be on the page. So anyways, here is Cyborg. Okay, last and probably the least. No, I like how she turned out. I know I could have done better. Specifically with the posing, it was a little bit awkward looking because I was trying not to make it like an exact copycat of what Starfire looked like, and it was kind of looking like that in the beginning, and then I changed it up. What you see right now, I didn't exactly go with. I kind of moved her arm out a bit more, and I tweaked a few things off camera. Every time I tend to draw Raven, she just doesn't look how I want her to, and this kind of came out like that. I still think she looks cool, and like her face I think was really cool when I finished it. It's just when it was starting out, I was very scared that it wasn't gonna come out how I wanted. It just could have been better. So here's the full sketch of all of them together. That literally took, I don't know, 5 hours. No, it wasn't 5 hours, but it was definitely about 3 hours. Now I have to line the drawing, and I didn't record that part because it's just me tracing over what I already did. Unnecessary. But I did add Teen Titans in the background, as you can see. And there's lame transition, blah blah blah. Okay, cool. It's all inked now. I am using Heyyyy markers to color every part of this drawing onto the coloring. When I am finished drawing each character, there will be a list of all the colors I used right next to them, just so you can see. So the coloring style for this drawing, I pretty much just mixed cell shading and blending kind of style together. Everyone wait, this is my favorite part. Okay, we're back. As I was saying, I used both styles of coloring, which was blending and cell shading. Pretty much how I did it was I just picked and choose when I wanted to blend or what I wanted to do the cell shading, and that's literally what I did. As you can see, for Starfire's outfit, I was blending a lot because I wanted to give the different hues and shades of purple. And also for the silver parts of her outfit, it was mostly blending because I wanted to actually make it look like it was silver and metallic. But those metallic parts are also an example of me using both styles, because with metallic stuff, it's not all just like one smooth blur. Like, there are sharp shadows, and that's where the cell shading came in. Now, when I got to her hair, this is when I deviated from the 80s style that I was originally referencing. How many times am I gonna mispronounce a word? Referencing. There we go. I pretty much did a gradient of like the deeper reddish color to a more pink to orange. And I got that from when she had her fire hair. I don't know what version that was, but if you know, you know. And yeah, there's Starfire. When I got to Beast Boy's skin, I accidentally used a more yellowy green that was too dark. You can definitely see the harsh edge from when I switched the colors, but oh well. It still turned out pretty good, so I'm not complaining that much. For his costuming, I mostly did a blendy style because I really wanted to emphasize his abs in the what's that thing? The bodysuit. And as you can see, I did pretty well with that. And I also drew a few wrinkles in the shirt and colored them in to also give that illusion. I will say I really enjoyed doing his abs with the pink. I don't know, using that pink was just really fun. And like the blending, it was pretty cool. I don't really know what to say. Oh, this is something I was supposed to talk about when I was doing the sketch, but I kind of forgot to. I don't know if you can exactly tell, but I tried to elongate his arms a little bit when I was drawing him because I kind of wanted to give him that kind of like monkey-esque look, like that beastly look. So I made his arms a lot longer and his hands a lot bigger. I don't know if that came across, but that's what I was attempting to do. And okay, we're done. Okay, moving on to Robin. I have to say, at this point, I was so hungry. I started this drawing at 10 o'clock after I had eaten breakfast. I hadn't eaten since then. It is now about 7 when I am doing this part. Yeah, do the math on that. You know, I'll do it for you. 10 hours. That's a whole school day and a part-time job. And I told myself, you know what? I'm not even gonna do Robin. I'm just gonna go eat. And then I started coloring the skin and I just had to finish it. I just had to finish it. I actually went back to check how long it took me to finish this Robin. I actually started doing this at 8:30. That's 11 hours plus 30 minutes. Oh my gosh. See, I knew I was... Anyways, back to the actual task at hand, the coloring. As for Beast Boy, I enjoyed doing the ab part. I just like coloring and drawing abs. Like, it's so fun to me. Especially when they're like super defined, like how Robin's is, and like his chest and like how the folds of the fabric. I just love drawing and doing that all the time. Something else I really liked drawing was his gloves. In the reference I was using, they were kind of like a bronzy gold, or I meant to say bronzy green. There we go. And they were kind of like metallic. I think they were supposed to be like some kind of metal. And yeah, that was fun. Robin is complete. Oh yes, here's the food I actually went to eat after I finished Robin. And of course, when I was finished, there was nothing left on that plate. Okay, Cyborg. I had a lot of fun coloring him as well. It was mostly like the little blue parts where he was, you know, you'll see. I also really like how his face coloring turned out. I think it's really cool. I don't know. This is it. This is the part I'm talking about. The blue parts where he has like the mechanical doodads, or I don't know what it's called. You know what I'm talking about. Those little part pieces. I started off using a gel pen for the little parts like on his head, and then made little parts like a darker blue so they could look like the Teen Titans version of him, and then doing little metal pieces. I really love doing metallic and like metal pieces, but I did it so much in this drawing I was kind of suffering by the end. Instead of using the gel pen for his shoulder pieces and his legs, I used this white deleter ink. It was a lot more opaque and easier to use, but it is typically used for manga stuff, but overall it is still just white ink. I was honestly just writing random things in his legs and arms. I don't even know what it look. I don't know, but if you don't look at it too closely, it makes sense somewhat. Even though I was very tired at this point, I really wanted to finish off strong and make sure that Cyborg looked good, specifically because I've never drawn him before. Like I said before, I just said before 2 times in very close intervals, but like I said, I hadn't drawn him before, so I was really adamant on making sure all the parts looked good and making sure the metal looked like the metal and the little fibers looked like the fibers and blah blah blah. And he's all done. We're almost done here. Raven was the easiest to color in terms of like skin and all that, but we are at my favorite part right now because I actually really love how her face turned out. I've never done her face like this with like the white purplish eyes and the pinkish purplish lips. Her face just looked really ethereal to me and I loved that. She looked magical, as she should, because she is a magical being anyway. Also, can we take a second to appreciate that glove? Just anyways, my favorite part of this was definitely her face and the red orbs on her waist and on her cape. Those are always my favorite parts to color because I love the red and the blendiness and making it look shiny. It's really fun. With Raven, I mostly did blendy. I didn't do a lot of well, not shell shading. I didn't do any cell shading at all. I'm pretty sure it was mostly at least 90% all blended. Also, the coloring for her cape is so pretty. Coloring her cape and drawing her cape was just really fun. I love drawing capes. If I was locked in a room for 24 hours and the task was to draw capes, I would have the time of my life. There's just so many ways to draw them. Oh, okay, we're done. Here's Raven. So the coloring of all of my characters is finished, but we are still not done here because I have to do the background, which isn't anything crazy. It's just solid colors. I just did their corresponding colors in the background. Just helps the colors pop. Not the well, the colors too. Yeah, the colors in the characters pop. I was debating for a little bit on whether to use yellow or red for Robin's, but I decided to go with red because green and red are complementary, so they'll look good next to each other. Coloring these blocks in was really satisfying, by the way. I just had a lot of fun doing that. So what you see here is me starting to do the letters in the different colors that are corresponding to the background, but I didn't even like it, so I just ended up coloring over it with black anyway, so we're just gonna skip past this part. Lastly, I'm using a white gel pen to go around any parts where the characters overlap the black. It just helps them pop a bit more against that black. Now I'm signing and it's finished. Roll the montage.